Hi, welcome to What the Freud. Today we dive deep into the worlds of criminal and medical investigations. I'm your host, Gypsy Roach. Whether it's solving a complex crime or diagnosing a mysterious illness, the path investigators take can often mean the difference between justice and injustice, recovery, or relapse. In both arenas, investigators must follow the evidence using the best tools available and keep their minds open to all possibilities. But what happens when bias clouds their judgment, or when they don't keep up with the latest technology that could crack the case? Let's take a look.
Detective James Mitchell arrives at the scene of a robbery at a local store. He is calm and collected.
Secure the perimeter. No stone left unturned. It's all about preserving the evidence.
James interviews witnesses, takes notes, snaps photos.
Every detail counts.
He's building the case piece by piece. The investigation deepens.
Let's get the forensics team in here. Fingerprints, DNA, surveillance footage.
Nothing escapes his scrutiny. Multiple theories, all considered.
What if it wasn't the usual suspect?
He wonders, keeping his mind open. Finally, the pieces fit. The real culprit is revealed. With the truth in hand, James makes his move.
You're under arrest.
He tells the suspect. The case is solid, airtight. And even as he preps for court, James is thorough.
Let's make sure every detail is ready,
he says. Justice is served, and James is off to the next case. Now, let's talk about Detective Maya Johnson. A burglary is reported, and Maya is sure she knows who did it.
It's got to be Ray Hickam. He's got 12 priors and lives right upstairs.
She arrives at the scene, but her mind's already made up.
Focus on where Ray might have been.
She tells her team, narrowing the investigation prematurely. Maya interviews witnesses, but her questions are leading.
Did you see Ray around here?
She asks, pushing them toward her suspect. The deeper the investigation goes, the more Maya's bias shows.
Find something on Ray.
She directs the forensics team. Other leads? Ignored. Evidence is cherry-picked to fit the narrative.
This has to be Ray.
Maya convinces herself, even as doubts start creeping in. The plan is set, but it's shaky.
You're under arrest.
Maya tells Ray, but as the case builds, holes start to appear. The real criminal? Still out there. Maya's case unravels in court.
How did I miss this?
She wonders, realizing too late that bias led her astray. A hard lesson learned.
Did you see where Maya's rush to judgment harmed both her case and the man she knew was guilty? How the community remains at risk because she relied on her gut rather than the facts? Let's see how this same tendency impacts us as patients.
Let's talk about Dr. Emmett Harris. A patient arrives, and Emmett quickly decides.
This looks like a classic case of X.
He focuses on confirming his hunch.
Let's check the usual symptoms,
Emmett says, overlooking anything that doesn't fit his diagnosis. History is taken, but it's narrow.
Tell me about these specific symptoms,
he asks, ignoring the bigger picture. Emmett orders tests, but only those that confirm his initial thought.
This should seal the deal,
He thinks, confident he's on the right track. The data comes in, but Emmett dismisses anything that doesn't fit.
This confirms it,
He says, but the picture isn't as clear as he believes. Treatment begins, based on a shaky diagnosis.
This will fix it,
He tells the patient, but as time goes on, things don't improve. The patient's condition worsens.
What did I miss?
Emmett finally wonders, realizing too late that his bias clouded his judgment. A painful lesson learned.
I don't know about you, but this has been my experience just too many times when visiting physicians. By limiting the scope of their exams and testing, they miss the mark and I'm left holding the proverbial bag. But it's not always like this. I've had some wonderful doctors who saw my symptoms as a fascinating puzzle to be solved. Like this.
Now let's turn to Dr. Sarah Patel. A patient walks into her clinic with puzzling symptoms. Sarah springs into action.
Let's start from the beginning.
She says, ready to dive in.
Let's keep you comfortable.
She assures them. Sarah takes a thorough history.
Tell me everything.
She prompts.
Every symptom matters. Every piece of the puzzle is crucial.
The investigation gets serious.
We need some tests. Blood work, scans, maybe even a specialist consult.
She leaves no stone unturned. She sifts through the data, considering every possible diagnosis.
What if it's something rare?
She thinks, keeping her options open. Finally, the real condition emerges. With a clear diagnosis, Sarah sets a plan.
Here's what we're going to do.
She explains to the patient. Treatment begins, tailored to the diagnosis. And as treatment progresses, Sarah checks in.
How are you feeling?
She asks, ready to adjust the plan as needed. The patient recovers and Sarah's work is done for now.
I think the most striking difference between Emmett and Sarah in their medical examinations is the way they approached the case. Whereas Sarah kept her mind open, leaving room for any possible outcome, Emmett was fixed on a single diagnosis from the outset. He relied on his gut rather than on collecting and analyzing the facts. I know there's a virtue placed on going from your gut, but when it's your health, when it's my health, I don't want someone using their gut to diagnose me. I want them to use science, objective science. And I want them to admit when they don't have an answer, because I'd rather have no answer than the wrong answer. Thanks for watching. This link here will take you to my story of misdiagnosis. This link over here will take you to the playlist of other videos in What the Freud, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.